so far we've been modeling for 14 minutes. So here we're going to go to new component and we're just going to call it leg. Okay, so now that we're in our legs, we're going to use existing geometry, and that's the whole point of being parametric. You can use existing geometry in order to drive your dimensions, or use existing dimensions to drive your geometry, and it's easily updatable. So if we ever came back and made change to one, I'm trying to make it where everything kind of auto updates as much as possible without breaking the model. And who knows, I may come back to this 6 months from now, 2 days from now, 10 years from now. When I come back to it, I want to be able to open it and make the changes, and it makes sense to me. For example, I did a end table like last year, and I came back to it 2 months ago. And I'm glad I took the time to constrain everything, because that's the difference between it taking 5 minutes to make a change or taking, another 5 hours basically. So here we're going to sketch on this face in order to create our first leg. So we're going to click sketch there. And I've learned that you can create a section analysis. So we don't want to see everything. We want to do a cut plane. Right? And I believe it's this face that we want to cut it, and we just want to move it out ever so slightly so that we're not seeing everything. We're just seeing where we want to sketch. Okay, so now that we've done that, right, we can use now it tells us where our 2x4 is. We can use that existing geometry in order to draw our leg. Yep, just checking. Okay, and again, we're trying to rush as quick as possible. So here, there, and then I know that I can have done tab in order to generate my dimensions, but I'm old school like that. I just like to physically see the points being changed. So again, I'm there to there. Okay, so now we snap this point to there. Right, and then we need to give it a length. And I believe the height of it was 32 inches for the legs. Okay, and it's 3D modeling. If it wasn't 32 inches, we can come back and let's say it was 22 inches. We can change that and it would update. Okay, that's what you gotta love about 3D modeling. But I believe it was 32 inches. Again, I'm just going off memory, and I built it a month ago. Or even longer than that. And then it's a 2x4, so we're gonna do 3.5. And as you can see, there's a pattern, right? We keep using 3.5, 1.5. It's the same numbers. That's what's great about this is once you do it enough times, it's just 1/2, 3.5, etc. 2, 1 inch overhang, etc. So here it's all black now. We've defined the width, we've defined the length, and we anchored it to this point here, which we're using existing geometry to touch the side apron. So we're going to go ahead and finish our sketch. All right, we're just taking a look, making sure that's all fine. We're going to turn off the section view, which you do over here. And then we're going to extrude right here. Okay, so we click both. Again, if somebody can let me know, how do I just click one and it grabs the entire profile of that sketch? And then we're going to do 1.5. Okay, so this is 3.5, and you can always check here if we click this edge, right? It'll tell me that I've clicked this one edge and it's 1.5. Or you can click inspect, you can click that face, you can rotate this model around and click that face, and it'll tell you that that's 1.5. Or you can click right there and it tells you that that's 3.5. So pretty cool. Okay, so we created our first leg, and remember I said we're only going to do one. So we're going to activate the assembly, and here everything's captured: leg, side apron, front back apron, tabletop. So we're going to activate the assembly. That's not the button. Okay, we're going to activate the assembly, bring everything back. Okay, and then we're going to mirror twice. So I'm sure we can do a rectangular pattern. I'm sure we can probably get it in one mirror. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I know how to mirror in 2 steps. So we're going to mirror this leg. Again, as I mentioned, the importance of modeling about the origin is we're going to use this leg to mirror about this plane. Then we're going to use those 2 legs to mirror about the YZ plane. So we're going to do in 2 steps here. So here we go. And we are 21 minutes in. So we're going to click the mirror function, create mirror. That brings up this. It says bodies. We're going to choose this body. And then we're going to say select our plane. And we're going to do the, was it ZX plane or XZ plane? So there you go. One more time. When we click on the ZX plane, it keeps a copy of it. So it made a copy of it for us. We're going to go ahead and save because I just realized I haven't done that yet. Okay, so now we have 2 legs. We only had to create 1 sketch and that gave us 2 legs. This is the advantage of 3D modeling. I'll keep saying it. How else could you do that? If I were doing this on paper, no way could I just mirror. I'd have to draw both or draw both of them. So now we're going to mirror again and we're going to say, hey, I want this body and this body to mirror about these, is that to mirror about the YZ plane, and then it's going to take these 2 bodies, basically make a copy of it that's linkable. If we change, it should change because we're mirroring, and then we'll have all 4 legs. And there you go, you have all 4 legs. So that is nice. 22 minutes with only being in the program for just today, and we already have something that resembles what we need. And part of the reason why I'm doing these videos, why I just didn't release plans, is because for those of you guys who want to learn how 3D model, you can watch this video. You can download Fusion 360. It's free. You only have a limit of 10 objects or 10 projects, but you can download it yourself. You can put this window up and side by side go through and learn how 3D model. That's the intent. How I learned how 3D model was basically like that. And I would take real world objects, take a photo of it, and just start sketching and see if I can make sense of it. So this one here for the simple workbench, it's, as you could see, all we've done is rectangles, and that has given us what we have so far. So one more thing I just realized is, in order to make the wheels work, I believe I cut another off piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into leg 1. We're going to activate that, I believe. Okay, and then here we're going to sketch. I mean, it's just that little off piece because the way the casters are, and I'll try to pull the casters into this model. I got them off McMaster card, but the way the casters are is they require more room for the screws to fit in there. So we're just going to add another little off piece right here. Let's just say that's 4 inches. And then this is technically another 2x4 off piece. So let's just do 1.5. Right? And If I drag it, does it move? No. Okay, so that's our profile. And we just need to give it some volume. So we're going to click there. We're going to say here, can I click a face? Does it have to be to object? Can I click this face? Yep, you can do that. So what we've been doing is we've been doing distance, right? And you can do that, you can drag it along, but in order to make sure that if this ever changes, let's say I want to make it a 4x6 instead of a 2x4, instead I'm just going to use the face in order to extend it out, and I'm going to say to object, select the object, and the object is this face. So now it matches perfectly with this face. Okay, but can I also add that, or is it a separate? It's a join operation, so it's not a new body. Okay, so in legs 1, there's 2 sketches, that's there. So when we do the mirror, I have to see where mirror is. Okay, so this is a perfect opportunity to see if we can make a change and apply it to everything else. And I don't know the formal way, but here I added this for the 2x4, or the 2x4 to the 2x4 for the caster. So here, do we have mirror? We do, and we have our sketch 2. Can we move this in the timeline? And we can move it in the timeline. So this is our last mirror. We cannot say mirror if the feature doesn't exist yet, and if it exists after, then you can't say mirror to something that's after. It has to be before. So I am dragging this sketch, or maybe it's all in my head and it didn't move. Let me drag the mirror over then. Okay, this is what makes learning a new 3D software. So it happened, we did drag it over and it did copy that one over. So we just need to figure out how to get this and move it. Or is it not allowed to? It may be because it's using it. So here we have, okay, so we have our first feature, right? Oh, it's already been mirrored. Okay, maybe I should have taken it back then. Okay, we're going to get rid of a mirror, and we're going to get rid of a mirror. And okay, so this is dependent on our first mirror. So we're going to edit it, and then we're going to delete whatever relationship it has to it. Okay, so we have that small piece. Why is this missing now? Okay, I am struggling here. Okay, edit feature. So we have that. Okay, so that's why, because that doesn't exist. So I just need to change the face. So if I redefine the sketch plane and put it here instead, that should help with half the error. Okay, then if I take off whatever, it's just easier to delete for me. And put that here instead. So not as smooth as I anticipated, but I'm also not going to just edit this out. Real content. Okay, so now we do it on our leg 1. Why is it extrude 1? Body 5. Edit sketch. Okay, let's see if that works. So show high. Okay, so now we have everything on the same leg. And then we're just going to repeat what we did with that extrude. We're going to go here, and then we're going to say up to object. Sorry. End type or extent type up to this object. And then we are here. Okay, so now we've done that. Now we have our one leg with the extension piece, and then now we're going to mirror. I'm sure there's a better way to do what I just did. I will have to figure that out later on in time. So here, that's all one body now. And then we want to mirror about here. Then we want to go to mirror again. And we want to click both of these bodies. And we want to mirror about this plane. Okay, so now we have, and then we want to hide that plane or hide that sketch. That was not the sketch. It's the sketch. And I'm sure that there is an easy way to hide it, but we're just going to use the tree here and say hide. Okay, so now we have all 4 legs. Sorry about that. It is 4:13, so we have been modeling for 20 plus 33 minutes. And we hopefully are almost done here. Okay, so now we're going to have 2 stretchers go across the lengthwise. This table isn't that big, so I'm not worried about having a center support. It can be added though. So we are just going to add it. I'm trying to remember how the table looked and whether or not it sat on these stretchers, and I believe it did not. Let me check really quickly. Okay, I was wrong. We didn't even do that. We just we have one piece going along the entire length of it. So we had it right the first time. The best way to do that would be to suppress if there's an option to suppress. Let me see here. Sketch 2, is there an option to turn off or suppress? If there is, I am not seeing it. Or maybe the feature itself. Okay, here's what we can do. When we do the extrude 3, again, I'm going to leave all the mistakes in here. We can take off, we just take off extrude 3. So extrude 3, we're going to delete. Okay, so we delete extrude 3 because this piece goes throughout the whole thing. So we're just going to delete extrude 3 and move that further down the tree. So extrude 3 is gone. Sketch, the sketch for that is still here. So now we just do an extrude. Now that we have all 4 pieces there, we use our sketch 2. But you know what? We're going to assemble another piece. So it's a new component. So we'll just call it stretcher. That's a new part right here that we added, stretcher. We're going to take this sketch 2, which is just the small piece that we already did, which was right there. And we're going to extrude that out. Sorry, wrong button. So we're going to take this sketch 2, which we already did, and we're going to say sketch 2, you go this way. Rotating is different in every single software. Instead of extend type being distance, we're just going to tell you to go to there. So again, using existing geometry, and basically we are saying, okay, we want you to start at this face and go to that face and there. Did that work? Why do I feel like that did not do what it was supposed to do? Okay, one more time. So we're going to go here. We're going to say extent type to object. And we're going to call this the object, and we're going to press OK. Okay. Don't know why that didn't work the first time, but now we have this, and we're going to use our favorite command. We're just going to mirror this over that side. And so we're going to click create, mirror. We're going to mirror about the, I'm looking up here. We're going to mirror about the XZ plane. So object to mirror is this, and then mirror plane is XZ plane, and there we go. So now we have our stretchers. So I thought I cut a small off piece, but what we did is we have our stretchers running through here, and we bolt our casters into the stretcher to save time. It's probably not the best way, but for a beginner who just needs a workbench to get started, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Okay. So now we have that. We're going to activate the assembly, and we're getting closer with each step. And we're going to try to get this done in less than an hour. And I'm just going to upload this whole video. I don't expect to have to do too much to it, but just let it go and see what happens.